Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. Hey, in Texas is like hi. I always say that, right? Hi, Fredo. Hey, Fredo. Where was I? Let's see. I don't know why I thought like that. You are in our Stitchuation room, and it's Embroidery Thursday. Although we did Embroidery Tuesday this week too. I'll probably make that a standard thing. I am glad you are here. You follow me on my sewing journey, and I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Good morning, everybody. Hello. It's great to see you guys here in the chat. Here's Miss Fredo. This is our little rescue. This is Fredo. She's a Queensland stumpy tail cattle dog. Look at that. She's like my boo-boo, but not, they're cousins. She's not an Australian cattle dog. One of you told me that. Let's see here, Fredo. I got so much on my mind, y'all, because we're leaving tomorrow. Here you go. There's your little treat. Good girl. We got her at our local no-kill animal shelter in our county. If you guys are ever thinking about getting a dog or a pet of some type, I encourage you to check your local shelters first, okay, before you go spending thousands of dollars on a dog. She's a purebred, and there's lots of purebreds there. Hi there you go. You want your stick? Okay, go brush your teeth. We'll see you guys later. All of our dogs that we have had have been rescues. So it was great too. When we got her, she was really, really sick. She had heartworms and 2 other bacterial infections, and they took care of all of that for a small, don't shop, adopt. That's right, Kim. That's right. Great minds. I know. I love that. So what a blessing to find her. She's 5. So very easy she's smart dog. I like working dogs. Smart dog too. Anyway, y'all didn't come here to talk about my dog. We're here to finish up the scissor case from the Bella box from Kimberbell. Look at that. Yay, that looks amazing. So this was the first half that we did on Tuesday. If you didn't get a chance to see that, take a look back in the lives on my channel and check out Tuesday's video. I give a lot of beginner tips. I always do my shows like I'm talking to beginners. Will I be on tomorrow? Yes, I will. Yeah, we're leaving here probably around 10 o'clock or so. And then we have to go down to our house in Port O'Connor because there's going to be an open house on Saturday. I got to pick up my water shoes because I want my water shoes. I'm funny about my water shoes. They're Keen pink ribbon shoes. And Keith has some Keens down there as well that he wears on the boat. So we are doing 2 excursions on the cruise next week that require water shoes. And I want to get those. I'm not going to go buy some more shoes. So I'm going to drive 2.5 hours to go get my shoes. Right? Plus, there's a scan and cut down there that I am going to move permanently into our motorhome so that it travels with me everywhere I go. Because I went to Austin to teach, or Round Rock area last month. Was it last month or earlier this month? Yeah, it was earlier this month. And I forgot my scan and cut in the motorhome. I didn't bring the one from here with me. And thank goodness Sandy Kent, I called her. I said, can I use your scan and cut? She saved the day for sure on that one. So the scan and cut will live permanently in the motorhome with Gypsy, the travel 6x10 embroidery machine. So much going on, and I've got lots to do. But I just want to do a quick sweep around the house one more time just to check and make sure everything's perfect and ready for the open house on Saturday. Prayers for an offer would be greatly appreciated. That would be very, very nice to be able to sell that. So that would be a great Memorial Day gift, right? Okay. Alrighty, so today, again, I'm going to do that. I've got a couple of announcements I want to make sure that you guys are aware of. Juju, Designs by Juju, has acquired Oma's Place. Oma's Place put out an email. I follow their blog, and they put out an email, and it's right on their site that Designs by Juju has acquired Oma's Place. So congratulations to both of those. One is retiring and the other one is continuing on the fantastic designs of Oma's Place. So if you have designs from Oma's, be sure to go over there. If you've purchased before and you have an account, be sure to download all your designs again. Not sure, I am unaware of how long her site will remain up. I'm sure it's going to be probably many months before it goes down, but I wanted to make sure that you're going to be able to get your designs from Oma's Place. I looked for Oma's Place designs on Juju, and they're not sorted like that. So I will talk to Julie about that this week on the cruise, and I'll let you guys know how all of that is working out. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know about that. So the lady who owns Oma, she's 78 and she's retiring. So congratulations to her. I bought designs from her maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15, because she's only been around for 15 years. So it's not, it's Friday Eve. Patricia's all happy Friday Eve. She's all excited. All right. Oh, good. Here you go. Look at this. Her Stellair, Jackie Stellair is coming home, and they threw in a Scan-A-Cut. Awesome. You will love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah, the Stellair is a fantastic embroidery only machine. She's getting that version of it. Okay. Let's see. If you didn't get a chance, yesterday at 1 p.m. Central, Keith and I went live. Well, Keith was in front of the camera. I was behind it. And he did month 3 of Sophia from Legit Kits. So thank you to all of you who came up and popped in to watch. He really enjoyed that. And for those of you that didn't, there's another option for you guys to stitch in your sewing room while you're sewing and kind of watch us in there. He's doing all the talking. I'm back and forth on the camera trying to do angles and stuff. My cameraman abilities are lady that comes in here all the time is Diane from Australia. And she emailed me this morning and let me know that if you live outside of the US, that the lady Donna, who is booking our Viking cruise for November of 2027, we're going to go on a Viking River cruise in 2027. And the link is right below in the description box. It's the very first one under featured items. Now, this is not going to be a sewing cruise like Sew and Sail. Okay. They don't have the space for conference rooms with, to be able to bring machines and all of that. This is just going to be a travel cruise. Well, Donna let Diane down in Australia know because of Viking policy, she can't book anybody outside of the US. So I was real disappointed about that. So then I go down a couple more emails and I see another email. This is why I love our community. So I get an email from Lindsay, and she says, I'm an avid fan of yours and try to watch most of your YouTube. Can't thank you enough for your tutorials, as she didn't start sewing until COVID. So she says, the reason why I'm emailing you is that I live in Bordeaux, France, but more importantly, I work for Viking. Well, how about that? Now, she's not a travel agent, okay, but there was some questions yesterday about being able to, what services they provide, wheelchair accessibility and that kind of thing. She says she's a Viking guide around Bordeaux, the rivers, and the Chateau cruise, but I also manage all of the transfers to and from the ship for the Viking Forseti and on embarkation and debarkation day. I can probably help with any questions you may have about guiding. I saw some queries about wheelchairs and also tips for traveling through the airport. I have to say, if you can book the flights through Viking, then you will have all their assistance at the airport. So she goes on to do that. Anyway, I replied to Lindsay and I CC'd Donna, our travel agent, and Diane, and maybe Lindsay can help point Diane in the right way and we can get Diane on our ship. Wouldn't that be amazing? So I just love our community. Lindsay, thank you so much for reaching out. I hope that we can make it all work. So this is awesome, because I was thinking, well, if Donna can't book it, can't Diane book through maybe Viking themselves? And we'll see how that all works out. So yeah, awesome. So yeah, Alda, you caught the replay with Keith. Good, good. Alda's down in Australia too. Winter down there. Diane said she actually put a jumper on yesterday. Now to you and me in the US, that's like a one-piece overalls. To the folks down there, that's a sweater. So, all righty. And so that was very nice. And then one other thing, let me see here. I want to let you guys, one more thing. Okay, finishing thoughts for Autumn Love. So I've received several emails about how to finish Autumn Love. When you guys get the Autumn Love USB, on page 6 and 7 of the instructions for Autumn Love, there is a full list of materials, fabrics that you're going to need. And some of you are using your stash, and that's fine. But you need to look at pages 6 and 7 because it's going to tell you how much extra fabric you need for the 6x10, 8x12, and 9x14. There's a chart in there, and it's going to tell you this is how much you need for the outer border. This is how much you need, you know, for your binding, for your backing, and all of that. All right. So be sure to let's see. Yep. Oh, that's Dave. Dave has good advice there. Dave Dave, you fly for United, right? You work with, I thought you worked with United. Well, he says if you book through Viking, they'll take care of you if there are flight delays. If you book on your own, good luck. Right. I get you. Okay. So anyway, yeah, so be sure to check out pages 6 and 7, which don't skim past that if you're using your own stash. All right. Look on there and it's going to tell you how much extra fabric that you need to finish the quilt, which is why I knew what I needed when I purchased that extra background fabric. I didn't get the kit because I'm going to be using my own Lori Holt fabrics. Okay. So, all right. I want to let you guys know about that too. So don't skim over those 2 pages. I know it's really easy when you're reading through on the PDF and you see, you know, required fabrics to just flip on past that because your brain goes, I'm using my fabrics. I don't need to look at theirs. But those 2 pages will tell you what you need. Okay. Oh, Dave works for Delta. Okay, thanks. Delta. Got you. Yeah. Dave, you going to come over and join us? Oh, you can't. You'd have to fly. Yeah, I know he's looking into it. All righty. So I'm going to finish up this now. All right. So let me do this. So I had mentioned in Katie Corners, Diane, I saw your sticker. Thank you, sweetheart. You're a sweetheart. It was up and then it disappeared and I can't see it right now, but I did see it before we went live. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. She says she loves Embroidery Thursdays. Katie Corners is the one who put out these adorable little magnets that you can embroider. I've got these on a video a couple of months ago. I think we made them. They're little, put a little magnet in there, a little pocket. How cute is that? And you can get a whole bunch of them. They're not very expensive at all. And they make the cutest little gifts. Too fun. So, okay. All righty. I need to get more stabilizer put in here. So again, if you did not watch on Tuesday, I think I'm going to start doing embroidery on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I love embroidery. Okay. Another thing I forgot. One more thing I want to talk about. You use them as cornerstones in a quilt. Well, that's smart, quilt wench. Okay. I got it back here behind the Bella box. The new Hoop Studio came in from Me Time. Okay. Now, if you get designs from Kimberbell or Me Time, your digital downloads will be in your digital library on the Me Time delivered website. So I hear. All right. So the one for this month, this is super cute, you guys. I'm going to, if you haven't opened it, I want to encourage you guys to get these. They're wonderful. So much fun to do. Yay, Embroidery Tuesday, Thursday. I know. So this month in Hoop Studio, they have an adorable little they call it a card pouch. I don't know why it's round if it's going to hold cards for my wallet. Anyway, maybe you can, I don't know. So a card pouch and this little zipper pouch right here. How about that? That's cool. So you can use the zipper pouch for chapstick or, I don't know, coins. So in here, you're going to get, of course, the instructions and the Hoop Studio Holly's handbag accessories. Okay. And it tells you everything you're going to get in there. All right. And let's see. In here, in your kit. Okay. All the supplies are in the package. Yeah, made by Margie. I love that all the supplies are in the package. She's right. Absolutely. Okay. So you're going to get, it comes with your batting that you need. Okay. And all of your fabrics. And there's a bigger piece of batting for the other project. And there's your outer fabric. Okay. Isn't that adorable? Look at that. And then we have, I want to make sure I read this right. A water-soluble pen. How about that? Water-soluble pen. Says Kimberbell on there. Good. And the embellishments you get are, you're going to get your zipper in there. You're going to get the wrist ringlet for you to wear on your wrist. A tween would love this. I'm telling you, this is awesome. Beautiful gold hardware. And there's the magnetic clasp for the little card pouch. How cute. It's just adorable. So everything you need is in there. I love Hoop Studio. It is so fun. You know, that's one of those, I'm not a fan of just embroidering something on something and then calling it good. Now, what do I do with it, right? I mean, towels are fine. That's the only really the thing that I would think about embroidering on. So I don't do onesies. I hate onesies. I hate onesies. They're impossible. So anyway, okay. Thank you. TM Jules says you have until August 22nd to get your downloads from Oma's Place per their website. Thank you for checking that out for me. I appreciate that very much. Okay. Yes. You see gifts for granddaughters. Now, just because, don't forget now, when you get the Hoop Studio, you've got the designs forever. So after you make this one, go into your stash and raid your stash and pull out a zipper and make all those little pouches. You can customize them and personalize them if you want. If you want to put the name on, somebody's name on there. Okay. Kim says she's got to go to work. All righty. So good. Now I'm going to do this when I get back from the cruise because I'm busy, right? I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, you guys. Now, I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube, and I have been on YouTube now for more than 5 years. So I promise you, there is something on my channel you have not seen, and I would appreciate grace when you watch my earlier videos. They make me cringe. So, all right. So let's get started with the back of the scissor pouch. The scissor pouch is a 4-part project. Part 1 is preparing the zipper pouch blank. And we did that on Tuesday by marking all of the lines that we needed to mark to get our placement guides on the pouch itself. And then also wrapped up, I will, maybe I'll put a link to it up here if I can. And so on the replay, it'll show you which video that was on. So you have to prep the pouch and get it all marked up so that you know where you're going to place it in your hoop. All right. And let's see, I'm not missing anything, I don't think. All right. And then part 2 is stitching the outside, which we did, the outside, one side of it. Okay. And I got all that finished up. I told you guys I was going to finish that. There's a little bit of applique. It turned out just beautiful. Love that. And now we're going to do part 3 is stitching the back of the scissor pouch. And then part 4, we're going to sew it all together. Now, part 4, the sewing together, they go through a whole bunch of steps that I'm not going to do, okay, because I'm a seasoned stitcher And so I'm going to make sure, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it to make my life easier. Because at the very end, they want you to hand stitch up the lining in the gap where you turned it. I'm not doing that because I don't do that. So you can do it by machine. You can do it by hand. I'll use some stitch witchery and then stitch it up and it'll be fine because it's the lining and nobody will see it. All right, so let's get started. Let me turn this and turn this, get this out of the way so I can stand up. And okay, switch my camera angle here. So let me get Fredo's little bucket out of the way. Move my coffee. That's too far. Well, all right. So if you ever get a Designs and Machine embroidery magnetic hoop, do not get rid of this plastic insert, okay? Because this is going to keep you from getting your fingers pinched real bad. Okay. So I've got to realign this and put in some more. Let me put this over here. Let's see. I got to keep my instruction. I got to get settled, y'all. Got to read the instructions. All right. So I'm going to remove this part from the hoop. So part 1 is finished. Okay. And now I'm not even going to cut that. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty about using this no-show mesh. You can use multiple layers and you won't feel it in the project. So I'm going to take another piece of mesh. Whoop, about dropped my batting. And put that down. Okay. And then you want to put, let me turn this so you guys can see. All right. So I've got this hooped over. You just need a little extra over all the sides. And I'm going to put this on here. And then the underside of this hoop has some cutouts where you can get a hold of it when you're pulling it apart. So I'm going to stand it up perpendicular to the handle, to where it goes into the machine, and make sure that the bottom edge of the frame and the top edge of the frame are very, they measure and match up. And then you can just lay this down on top of that plastic, all right? Then grab the hole in the handle and pull it out. No pinched fingers. That's how you do that. And then get that nice and smooth. That looks good. All right. I don't know if the instructions told me to cut this away or not. Gotta, yeah, it did. Let me do this. You're not supposed to cut the fabric just yet, but I'm going to get rid of all of this stabilizer and pull up my tape. Get that off. Let's see. I'm just going to rough cut this around the pins. Oh, I can hear Keith. He's outside making more seam rippers to take on the cruise. Let me see here. Oh, that's a buddy of ours just texted us who's going on this cruise coming up. Okay. So just kind of freehand that. Okay. There. Alrighty. Let's read the instructions. We're getting over here. We're on page. Now, if you got the Bella box and you want these instructions, dig around. This is inside of the box. I had somebody email me and say, how do I download that? How can I get the paper instructions? They're in the box. Okay. So turn the project to the back, trim the excess stabilizer around the design. Okay, I did that. Hoop the light mesh cutaway stabilizer, done. Load part B into the embroidery machine. All right, that looks good. So let's do that now. We're together. I've got this. Okay. You bought them from Keen. I love these Keen shoes. Yeah. All righty. So again, if you are brand new to embroidery, I'm going to go through this. I know we talked about it on Tuesday, but I have new viewers all the time, so I appreciate you all. All right. So in here, when you create a design that is digitized or created by Kimberbell, okay, and that's who makes this, the Beller box. The Me Time Embroidery is a sister company to Kimberbell. Just FYI. All right. So on here, this is going to tell you, they'll give you all of the steps that you're doing. So step 1 is to hoop your stabilizer, and I've done that. All right. And then step 2 is to stitch out the design or to load the design in the machine, which I've already done. And then it wants you to stitch the, I wish I could silence my watch. The people that we're cruising with get to chatting all the time and they blow up my phone. Now my phone is silenced, but my watch is going ding, ding, ding at this hour. So right here we have, even though this is step 3, so we have step 1, step 2, step 3, down below step 3, it's got a number 1 sewing machine with a number 1, and then a little icon that's gray with a heart. That bottom icon corresponds to a thread color chart on the first page of the instructions for the scissor pouch. So you will get, this is a color guide of threads. Now, they choose glide thread. Okay, you don't have to use glide thread. If you have other brands like me, I'm loaded down here with Exquisite from Designs in Machine Embroidery and Isacord, okay, and Glide. But they give you little pictures of what the thread color is. So you don't have to have glide thread. I love that, the way they do the instructions like that. So you don't have to run out and buy more thread, because if they only gave you a number or a name of it, you'd be like, well, what color is that? And then you try to guess based on the picture. I like that they give you the little color chips, okay? I can turn off the sound from the watch app. Yeah, Quilt Wench, but then I'd forget and I'd be like, why isn't my watch dinging? And I know, my life. My life. Okay. So this is telling me I need the silver smoke. All right. I can do that. Let's get in here and take a look. Okay. So this is the Brother Luminere. And another, I've had some questions about the difference between, I saw this on our Facebook too, the difference between the Luminere XP1 that was upgraded to the XP3, which is what this one is. It has both upgrade kits, versus just purchasing an XP3 right out of the box. Okay. They are absolutely identical. So the XP1 or XP2 that was upgraded to the XP3, absolutely identical, no difference, except for, like right here, it says XP1 on the case and it says XP1 on the sticker. That's the only difference. And the other ones will say XP3 on the case, but they have the same brains. So I love that Brother does that versus making you buy a whole new machine every time they release an update. So this is a sewing and embroidery combo. And this particular machine, you don't have to remove the embroidery arm if you're going to be sewing, and vice versa. So many machines, if you're going to be doing embroidery and it's a combo machine, like my little, my NQ 3700, my 6x10 from Brother, if I want to embroider with it, I need to put the embroidery arm. Let me do that again. I need to put the embroidery arm on before I turn it on, because when it turns on, it's going to recognize that the embroidery arm is attached. And then it says, oh, we're going to embroider this. If you're going to sew on it, you want to turn it on without the embroidery arm attached. Okay. Some of them can switch back and forth and do it all in one, like this one. Some of them can't. Okay. So I'm going to go to embroidery. I'll zoom you in here. It is a smart machine. Oh, I didn't mean that. I hit the wrong button. This is a very smart machine. I'm not working on the me time right now. I'm going to do Hoop Studio when I get back. And that's the one that just got shipped out. Okay. So with Brother machines, they have a little pocket here, and that's the pocket for memory. Okay. So anytime you're going to pull up external memory from outside of the machine, you're going to touch the pocket. And here across the top, these are your options to get the design. Where do you want to get it from? You can get it from inside the machine, from a USB. You can get something that's for your mouse if you want to use that. It has the capability to read from a chip. You can get it wireless, or you can get it from the Brother data pocket, which is like the My Connection. I want to get it wireless. I sent it over. Okay. I sent it through Embrilliance. And there it is right there. Part 2 pocket. Set. There we go. All right. So now on a machine, on these machines, most machines will do this. Okay. Most machines will do this. So on the Luminere, this tells you you've got wireless stuff. There's your camera. This is where you get to your preferences right in here in your settings. Okay. This tells you the view is at 100%. This is your hand. If you want to pan around on the screen, you can. These are the hoops that you're going to use and the size of the design that you've brought up. But right now still, this is kind of an edit mode, and you can see the word edit right here. And if you go in there, that's where you can move and resize and rotate and all of that. Any changes you want to make to the design before you get going, this is where you would do it. I don't want to make any changes to the design. So right down here, we have the word embroidery. So if I wanted to add a name to this, all right, if I wanted to add a name to it, here is where I could touch the add button, and it'll say, what do you want to add? And let me go into my fonts. And then I can choose a font and add a name. So you've created 2 separate designs that you're going to merge into one. So let me hit return on this and return. We're going to go back to where we were. I'm not going to add a name. I'm not going to fiddle with this at all. Okay. So I'm just going to touch embroidery. Yeah, if you guys are going to, oh, Paula says take your watch off. Now that would be too simple, wouldn't it? If you guys are going to go with us on the cruise, be sure to tell them that you are part of the Power Tools with Thread group. Okay. Just FYI. Okay. Oh, also, Amber wrote me yesterday about that, and she said for me to tell you guys something. Donna is working through all of the interest in the cruise, okay? So if you emailed her and she hasn't gotten to you yet, please be patient. She's working through, first come, first serve. And then also, if you click the link below to get to the Google Doc, that Google Doc has the contact information for Donna there, okay? So yeah, you need to go into the Google Doc and take a look at it. Because we're gonna have special events with, oh, here we go. This is Amber right here. There you go. So Amber is the person who reached out to me. Her mom is the travel agent. Okay. Thank you, Amber, for clarifying that. We're going to have some meet and greets and that kind of thing. We've got some events going on. Okay. Oh, Lucy says, put my watch on vibrate and it'll remind me to turn it back on when I get a call coming. Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you, Lucy. See, I love this group. It's so smart. Okie doke. So now I'm ready to go ahead and do the embroidery. And in the embroidery mode, so let me go back and hit return. You've got this big embroidery button down here. When I touch that, we've now jumped into the embroidery mode. I do not have a Facebook page for the 2027 cruise. I imagine I can put one together, Charlene. That would be a good idea. Okay. I'm probably going to, though. No, I don't want to do that. I don't know. I'll have to talk to Amber about that. Okay. All right. So we can see the design here that we're going to stitch. And here I can do a downward directed display of the design onto my, my hoop. I could scan it if I want. I could record. I've got layout. If you go into layout, you can only move or rotate. You can't edit. You have to edit before you get into the embroidery mode. And then I have a preview of what's going to stitch. And these are your color stops right here. Very important on all machines. Okay. This right here will turn off your trimming. If you don't want to trim the threads, don't do that. We have the needle plus minus button. This allows you, on the needle plus minus, I can go forward and backward through my color stops. On smaller brother machines, it has this little spool, and it'll tell you spool plus or spool minus. And those are the color stops back and forth. And then I can go forwards and backwards, 1, 10, 100, 1,000 stitches, or I can touch 0 and go back to the very beginning. Okay. And then this will put a downward directed crosshair onto it takes a picture and it'll put the crosshair on my stabilizer. So I'm just going to tell it, okay, I'm not messing with it right now. My button has turned green and I'm ready to go. Awesome. Let me back up. So that's the stuff on also, oh, I forgot up here on this screen. If you make a boo-boo, right here, it's going to tell you, this is your stitch count, where you're at out of 1,526 stitches. This is your color stops. We only have 6 of them, okay? If you make a boo-boo, figure out what number you're on. Take a picture of it with your phone. Sandy, is this Luminere comparable to the Baby Lock Stellair? They are identical. The only difference between those two machines are the designs that are in it when you bought it, okay? The designs are different that come from the factory are different. And Brother has the ability to talk via my connection to certain models of the Brother Scan and Cut. Other than that, they are identical. So your screen on your Stellair is absolutely identical to what I just showed you right here. So you can rewatch this video and go through and stop the video and look at your screen and look at the video and go back and forth and get familiar with the landscape on your big screen right here. So I'm just going to touch green to go. I've got a 9014 needle in here from Oregon. Brother and Baby Lock machines are timed at the factory with Oregon needles. So if you're having thread shredding and you're using a Schmetz, I love Schmetz needles, but embroidery-wise, recommend that. Also, your machine came with inside the bobbin case, there is a purple dot. The purple dot is designed for embroidery bobbins. These are from Designs in Machine Embroidery, all right? And they are designed for embroidery bobbins that are a thinner weight than standard embroidery thread. So the embroidery thread is a 40 weight. It's a little bit thicker, and embroidery bobbins, these are 70 weight, I believe. Yeah, these are 70D/2. So this tube has lasted me, I'm going on 3-4 years. I've had it forever. All right, so there is my placement line. Stitched out the placement line for the batting. All right, and now step number 4 is to place the base project batting. Let me get my batting. I have that. And I'm going to pull the hoop out a little bit and put it right over. And I'm just going to make sure that I have, this is close, y'all. They tell you to cut 5x10. I'm going to tape it because I don't want it to shift. If you want a pretty Kimberbell, this color was unique to a Bella box a couple years ago, but they have other colors of tape dispensers because we all love cute in our embroidery area, right? Okay. So I'm going to tack this down now. So Brother Embroidery only recommended a 90 weight bobbin thread. Y'all, I've been using 70. See, that's the thing. I don't read a lot of instructions and I just plow ahead and do what I do. Okay. I didn't know that. I've been using 70 weight bobbin thread I've had this machine for 5 years, right? It's not a special tape. It's just a paper tape, okay? You can, Kimberbell has their tape, all right? You can use that. Those tubes don't last that long. Lori, I've been working on the same tube for 2 or 3 years. Depends on how much you embroider, I imagine, right? You can make your own, but I've not been successful with that. Okay, so I'm going to trim this away. Okay. Whenever you're going to remove the hoop and do work off the machine, you always want a firm, flat surface because you don't want to mess up the registration. I have seen people put this up here and cut like y'all don't do that. No, flat, okay? Because you don't know what you're going to mess up. And if you mess up your registration, you have to start all over again. I'm giving you best practices. I'm just going to hold this up. These are Gingers, okay? Don't go cheap. These are double-edged, double-curved embroidery scissors. I bet you I've had these scissors for 10 years. I've had them so long they squeak. Okay. I use the exact same thread, process, notions, everything on all of my embroidery machines the same, regardless of the model. Okay. I don't get all picky about that. Use the exact same thing. Yeah, again, I don't know any better. I just, forge ahead and hope for the best, and it seems to work out. Okay. I'm going to put this back in the machine. I think I am. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm not. Okay. Trim the batting close to the stitch line. Oh, next I'm going to stitch the tick mark, the alignment line and the tick mark. Yes. Okay. Amber, you're going to be sorry you let everybody know who you were. They're going to bombard you. Does the weight of the bobbin thread for embroidery the same for quilting? No. Bobbin embroidery thread is thinner than quilting embroidery thread. Yeah. So some designs will tell you, if you're making an in the hoop design, it'll tell you, make sure that you're using identical thread. Now, on the, if you're doing an in the hoop project like freestanding lace, they'll tell you to use the same color bobbin on the bottom as the top so that it looks the same from both sides. You can use a 40 weight thread bobbin on freestanding lace. I've done it many, many times, very successful. Okay. Your meridian screen is very close, if not identical. Yes. So the meridian is very close to the Stellair is also very identical to this. The buttons are about the same. All right. All right. It's like this is a Chevy and Baby Lock's the GMC. It's the same thing. It's the way I think of it in my head. This is an F-150. The Baby Lock's the Lincoln. Okay. Sorry, that's how I roll. Okay, so I've stitched the tick mark. All right, now we need to align the blank on here. Okay. Y'all see my sewing room. All right. Oh, there it is. Okay. So this says, now, lay the pouch right side down with the zipper pull at the top. I'm on step 8 of page 23. All right, right side down. Oh, I need to trim that a little bit better there. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Okay, with the zipper pull at the top, Move the lining roll 2 inches away from the zipper on the right side of the pouch. Okay, so I'm going to pull up this tape here and here, and I'm going to unpin this. All right, and I'm just going to lay this over here. We're just getting the lining out of the way. Now there are those marks that we made on Tuesday. I'm just getting this moved out of the way. Oh, come on, get in there. There we go. You can use clips if you want. All right, so that's out of the way. And I'm going to roll all of this up, and I'm going to use these tape pieces to kind of tape it up so it doesn't flop around and get caught up underneath the hoop. We don't want that. That's bad. That's a bad thing. Whoop, I don't mean to tape that on there yet. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing we did last time. With the pouch right side up and the zipper pull at the bottom. So now I'm going to flip it like this. Okay. This is the exact same thing we did. Fold the bottom left corner up to the right side until the point where line A and line C cross is visible. So I'm going to take the bottom corner and fold it up at a 90-degree angle as best I can. Okay, like this, fold it up there. So there's the point. So just fold it up. These things are not square, so that's why we mark these lines. Okay. There. Good. Got it. And crease it. Know where to put things. Okay. This will create a 90-degree angle as shown. So now we're on step 10, which is right here. So you want your lines at a 90 degree, and that's what I've got. Lines at a 90 right there on my little orange lines. Okay. Now you want to align the corner where line A and line C cross. So I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me mark it. Here's the alignment line right here. Okay. And here's the tick mark right there. So you want to take this point and align it right there so that my alignment line, this line, the vertical line is even on here and the point is right there. See that? Like that. Okay. That looks straight. And then you want to fold this down so that it is straight. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to look at my line underneath, and I want to make sure I've got it here with the alignment line. And then I'm going to look at this one under here and make sure that it's even with the alignment line. And I know vertically or horizontally, I have it straight. So now it's straight vertically, and I need some more tape. To tape that down. That wasn't so hard. Just fold that thing up, get the point right where you want it. Okay, that looks good. And now, hold on. Let me do this. I'm going to reuse this tape here. Okay, I don't want that getting stuck underneath. There, like that. Ugly, but effective. That works. Okay, we're ready. Let's see. Hold on. I'm taking you for a spin. So, pop this back in. You guys give a video a thumbs up if you would. Helps the channel a whole lot. If you're watching on your TV, grab that TV remote and hit the channel up button. That is a like, and I appreciate that. All right, so now we're on step 14, stitch the pouch tack down line. Okay. Here we go. That is really pretty simple. Keep your fingers. I know some of y'all can't resist putting your hands in the hoop in the embroidery field. Keep your fingers well away from that. Okay. Now I need to stitch the basting line. No. Yeah. Oh, what are we going to stitch now? Oh, did I go too far? I went too far. Okay, now we're going to stitch the quilting detail. Same color? No. Yes, same color. Okay. I'm going to start doing embroidery. I have so many embroidery projects coming up. Quilt wedge. Power tools with thread are the only thing that keeps you grounded to a Monday through Friday schedule. You're going to be a mess while I'm on the cruise. Sorry. You're welcome, Vicki. Thank you so much, sweetie. She says, great instructions, a lot of steps. Yeah. Isn't this pretty? I get this from Liberty Laser. I have a link below in the things around my sewing room. It's listed under there. Okay, here we go. So now that that is done, that turned out beautiful. Oh, you know what? I used the wrong color thread. I never switched my thread color. Okay, so I have a cream that's up here and I never put in the silver. Did I do a video or a live on the Bella Box clock? Not yet, Deb. I plan on it. I haven't done it yet. So I used the wrong thread color. Oops. Let me show you how I fix that. That's a boo-boo, okay? So I'm going to cut this because I never changed my thread. All of those placement lines and stuff, none of that mattered. This is that smoke. I want it to match the front. That's why I'm changing. Okay. I like to change my threads by tying off at the top. Okay. I do a single loop, large loop, hold it with my thumb and forefinger, drop the tails behind the back, and then reach through the loop and pull it, and then unthread. If you make a boo-boo like this, the beauty about machine embroidery is that it's very forgiving. So let's go down to my needle plus minus. I got glare, you guys. I know, I'm sorry. You see my shirt. I'm going to go needle plus minus. I want to back up one color stop. Okay. I can see in the preview where it's at. All right. Now, what's on there is the same color thread as the fabric, but I'm just going to stitch over the top of it. I'm not pulling it out. There's no reason. You won't see it. Because the registration hasn't been altered or changed, it's going to stitch exactly on top of the first set of lines. If you have an embroidery machine that does not cut the jump threads, after every color stop, you need to cut the jump threads, okay? Because you might end up stitching over something that you really don't want to. Yeah, haven't we all done it? Betsy says, it's just a little cheap. Nobody knows but us. Look at that. You can't even tell. It's gorgeous. Okay, and now I need to stitch the basting line. And it doesn't matter what color the basting line is. It has a little eyeball right there. And it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, that was blurry. It doesn't matter what color it is, but it might be, that's why I had that cream color thread in there. Let me go back. So It tells you in there, I think the eyeball is, it means it won't be seen. I have to go back and look. It's been years since I looked at that. And, my fingers go back up there. I just wanted to make my basting line the same color as the background fabric. My ring, that's one of the reasons I don't like wearing rings like this. I'll just wear my wedding band when I do embroidery because it grabs the thread. Okay, turn the project to the back and trim the excess stabilizer around the design. All right. Yay, all done. That's it for the embroidery on this. Turned out beautiful. Okay. Have I worked on an affiliate relationship with the whole country caboodle? There are things that you want. I have, and we're working on that. Yeah, I met them at Market last year, and I want to work on their things too. Yeah, definitely. Oh, let me just switch the camera here. Absolutely. I love their stuff. Absolutely adorable. Okay. Met her and her daughter. So remove the project from the hoop and remove the tape. Okay. Let's see here. And remove the tape. We need to get all of this off. One more down here. And trim the stabilizer away. Come on. Fine. You guys be very careful when you're doing this. You want the project to drop away from where you're cutting. Okay, I want that up out of the way. And if you can, push the scissor versus use the cutting motion. Okay. You especially want to do it like that on a shirt for sure. All righty. Pull this out. My little pin cushion go over here. All righty. So now what do? Now it says, unroll the lining and smooth into place. Okay. And this doesn't need all trimmed. Don't get all nitpicky about this. This is all going to be cut away from right around the batting anyway. So you don't have to be super, super picky about that. Oh my goodness. Okay. Our first hour is up here on Embroidery Thursday. So if you have to leave, thank you so much for spending your time with me. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe, okay? And I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow on Giveaway Friday. Enjoy your day, and you go sew something. So for the rest of you, we're going to keep going, all right? Let's go. So I need to smooth this out. Now, what does it say? You need to pin or clip the edges of the canvas and lining together. Pin or clip. Okay. So let me get my handy dandy little pin cushion that I made from the Bella box in the So Timeless Bella box. I'm going to pin this together. Smooth it out from the zipper Okay. This is the back. We're doing it from the back of the front. Oh, they want to do it from the front. Okay, the zipper pull at the top. It says to lay the project flat, right side up with the zipper pull at the top. Using a pressing cloth, press it well. All right. So now I got to walk around cameras here. And I'm going to press this. Let me see if I can get you guys to see what I'm doing. There we go. My husband ragged on me yesterday on his live about the scorched state of my pressing station. I'm under a light and cords. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's terrible. So the reason they want you to use a press cloth is because of the zipper. Here it is. My friend embroidered this for me, hand embroidered it, and it's my press cloth. She gave it to me for Veterans Day. Isn't that nice? And it's my press cloth. Okay. Don't spend a lot of time on that zipper. I'll run the iron right next to the zipper teeth. Now my zipper is kind of wonky right up in here. Okay, I'm going to press that and not get the iron. I'm going to run it right next to the teeth. Okay, and I'm not ironing on the teeth. Because the zipper had a fold in it. And if you want, I mean, you can do this ahead of time for sure, but don't melt those teeth. There. I've probably also ironed away all of my orange marks that I used for my alignment. This is your last chance to get this zipper into whatever shape you want it in. Okay. So now I can get this all pressed. So that looks a lot better. Okay. Careful of the cords, Becky. Careful of the cords. Okay. Yeah, no, it's not an invisible zipper. No, this is just a standard, it looks like a 14-inch zipper. Okay. So we need to pin this all together. So I'm smoothing it out from the zipper out, get it nice and smooth. So it's going to be trimmed right around this basting line right here. Wait a minute. Pin or clip the edges of the canvas and lining together. Okay, we are pinning both at the same time. All right. Using a water-soluble pen, measure and draw a trimming line 1/4 inch away from the basting line on each side of the zipper. And then on each side of the zipper, trim the canvas and lining exactly on the trimming line. Okay, so this is what they want you to do here, all right? What they want you to do is to take, where's my water-soluble pen? Let me see. Do I have my... Yeah. What they want you to do is they want you to measure 1/4 inch away all the way around and they want you to go around the basting line. Okay. So to measure that. And you can do this if you want. You can get all fancy and get yourself a little measuring guide and go all the way around and whatnot. That's not how I roll. That's too much like work. So this is it. I'm only drawing this line because this is what they want you to do. Me personally, I wouldn't fiddle with that. Now, it says on each side of the zipper, Trim the canvas and lining exactly on the marked trim line. Do not trim the zipper. So to prevent yourself from trimming on the zipper, take a little piece of tape and put tape on it, okay? And put yourself an X so you don't accidentally trim over that. If you want, you don't have to. You can do that. Now I'm just going to freehand this, and they want you to do it not on the basting line, but a trimming line. Why it doesn't say cut the project out 1/4 of an inch away all the way around the basting line, I don't know. Don't throw away your pins. Okay. Get right up to that. I'll just freehand this. I'm coming up to the zipper tape, right to the edge of the zipper tape, like that. Okay. I found the pin step is unnecessary. I did it just because they said to, but you don't have to. Go all the way, 1/4 of an inch away around the basting line, which I did in the same color as the fabric. From there, and I'm cutting it right next to the zipper tape, okay? There. So this is what it should look like. All right. So now you've got these free, and if I was to do it again, I would make sure I had a little tab on these sticking out. But the way they had you cut it, there isn't one. Sometimes their finishing instructions, their embroidery instructions are the best in the industry. Their finishing instructions, however, leave a little bit to be desired. Okay. So now we have the right side of the zipper pouch with the, and then it wants me to remove the basting line stitches. I'm not doing that either. Okay. So it wants me to remove that. I'm going to stitch just inside of that basting line. Okay. I can see it here. So why do I need to remove it? I'm going to stitch just inside of it, like so that the basting line is just in the seam allowance. All righty. And do this, and then lay the project flat, right side up, open the zipper 3/4 of the way. Okay. Like that. That's good. Align both canvas sides, right sides together, and match up the edges and curves, pin or clip in place. All right. So this is what they're talking about. So I'm going to align these with the basting lines exactly together. You can kind of peek at it and put the basting lines on the corner exactly together. And pin. And here. Take a peek. If you want to pull the basting stitches out, go right ahead. That seems like an unnecessary step to me, but it depends on your skill level at the sewing machine. Be sure to undo that zipper or you won't be able to get into your pouch. Ask me how I know about that. Years ago, I did that. All righty, here. And then they want to do the same thing with the lining. You need to leave a gap in the lining. So I'm going to put a little mark. They want you to leave a 3-inch gap in the lining. Right there. Okay. And then pin or clip these together. Okay. Where is it that they said that we had to pinch the, oh, I see. And then we're going to sew all of that, clip the corners. Okay. Strange instructions here. Strange instructions. One more pin to put it all together. All right, let's go sew. So I'm going to sew from one side of that mark all the way around. See, they want you to put, this is different than I have done before. With right sides together, match up the edges and curves, pin or place. Okay, and then number 9, fold and align the top ends of the zipper tape so that the teeth are together and facing toward the lining. Fold both ends of the zipper tape. You want these aligned so that the teeth are toward the lining. Okay. They should have had you do that piece first. And tape it in place. Or pin. No, I'm not going to tape it. I'm going to pin. I need another pin. They want you to align those zipper teeth so that they're together, like that. This is something. My edges aren't even here. I'm going to, all right, I think we're ready. Okay. And this one, and the bottom one too, just the top. Yep. Okay. Now I can stitch over this. All right. So I'm going to go sew. Oh, zigzag across to hold the teeth. That's a good idea, Evelyn. All right. Whoop. A lot of steps. I know it is a lot of steps to get there. That's okay. So I need to convert this now to a sewing machine. So I'm going to get my little brother all-purpose. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to tell it okay, go back to home, tell it okay, and I'm going to go to sewing. And when I go to sewing, this is going to get out of my way. That's very handy. What do they mean about facing the lining, Kathy? What they mean is on these teeth right here, I'll show you. I'm not entirely sure it's that big of a deal. So when you put the edges of this together, the teeth are facing, the teeth of the zipper, where the teeth are, is facing the lining. That's what they mean. That help? Have I tried retro cleaning solution for that scorch mark? Oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. Thanks, Deb. I'll give it a shot. And then they want you to tape them in place, just so that they aren't sewed wonky, so that they're even, the teeth are even and align when you go over it with the sewing machine. Okay. Good, Kathy. Okay, good. Now, one piece of my lining is shorter than the other. So I'm going to stitch with the short side up so I make sure I get it. You can do that. Okay. So I need to change this out. My W foot, take it off. Those steps, y'all, they make it a lot harder than it has to be. But I guess it's assuming you've never done this before. And I can appreciate that. That's fair. But I've done so many zipper pouches that, okay. I think it would darn near be impossible to tell you to make it a part 3 embroidery design where you put it all together in the hoop and align it here and blah, 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 and hope that it all works. Okay. So I'm going to do straight stitch. I'm on 1-03 stitch, which is a straight stitch. Okay. And I don't know if you can see it. I'm at a 2.5 stitch length with a 3.5 left, right. It's right in the center. Okay. I'm just going to do number 3, which is a straight stitch. Okay. And you can go, so some people, this machine has the ability to just stitch a knot. It has the little circle button right there with a, that's a knot. And that does a teeny tiny little forward, back, as opposed to being able to do a reverse stitch. Now, I'm not good with sewing with just the button, so I do have my presser foot hooked in here, okay? So my needle is center, and I'm gonna start at the pink mark I made. Make sure this is smoothed out. I put my foot down, and I am gonna do a decent sized back stitch on this because I'm gonna turn it, which means I'm gonna do some tugging. Let me show you how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna align the edge of the fabric with the inside of the foot there. All right, I'm just gonna stitch around. Pull my pins. Now I have my needle stop down, all right? And then I like, so you can just curve it with one hand. I like my presser foot to raise up when I stop so I can readjust. All right, my zipper teeth are together. I'm gonna go right over it. Now, I'm gonna stitch just to the inside of that basting stitch, okay? It's easier with one hand when you do a curve. There we go. And I'm going to stop at this other pink line, and I'm going to do a back stitch. Okay. Cool. That was pretty easy. Okay. So now I'm going to flip this thing. It wants you to clip the curves. You can. Let me get my other scissors. Hold on here. Yeah. So you can clip the curves too, but not through the stitching. My mom taught me to make little V's. That gives that fabric room to turn. That's a garment sewing technique, not just clipping, but clip a V. Because when that fabric flips around, it needs somewhere to go. That's a good thing. Let's see here. I could use sharper scissors, that's for sure. I think these Fiskars have seen better days. Okay. Alrighty. Pinking shears will work. Yep. Okay. So I like to start at the farthest point from the back and push it through first. And if you did it right, your seams match up. Look at that. That's what you do when you're making sure that those little points and ends are all good to go. Now, you don't have to, you can cut this, okay, because that's really a lot. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to stitch that and cut it. All right. This is just me making my life a little bit better. I am going to switch to my zigzag. And I'm going to stitch this on a zigzag in the seam allowance. I'm not stitching on the zipper teeth. Okay, I just stitched a zigzag right there. That's going to give some reinforcement strength to that right there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I essentially stitched in the seam allowance. Okay. Now I'm going to cut this off right here outside of that zigzag stitching. That's the end with the zipper stop that I just trimmed off. Okay. And then you can trim this off too, right out here. You don't need all of that. There. That'll be better. Okay. I've done this once or twice, and so I just kind of know you can use your best judgment on that. If you've never made one before, you can follow their steps exactly, and it will turn out just fine. I just have made one or two of these in my life. A zipper pouch is a zipper pouch. Yeah, look at that. See what happens when you get your little ends right together? How nice is that, huh? Okay. So I'm reaching in here, and I'm going to use my thumb and push this out. I have a turning tool right here. One of these. This is a very nice little turning tool, and it's not a sharp point, so I'm going to use the dull end. I got that from Lana up in Indiana. Thank you, Lana. Oh, y'all, that turned out pretty on the end. See how they match? Ta-da! Yay! Yeah, I can't get used to sewing that either. With the button, I am definitely a foot pedal. How I was raised. So you can take it and just smooth it along the inside on one smooth motion. That turned out very pretty. Okay, that looks great. This is nice. Okay, now for the inside of the lining, they want you to hand stitch this closed. I'm not doing that. Y'all know me better than that. That's not how I roll. So inside of my lining, nobody's going to look in there and go, oh my goodness, look at that. So I have the same color thread as the lining. Okay. I'm going to fold those little ends in, right? And make sure I don't have any fuzzies. Pinch them together. And I'm going to do a little straight stitch right next to the edge at 1/8 inch away, right next to the edge. Okay, let me get my edges now exactly even with each other for the best look. There we go. Oh, look at that. There is no way I could hand sew that and have it look any better at all. I am going to press it right now to get the heat away marker. If you use the water soluble to mark that, then you're going to have to get it wet. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to come over here and just quickly touch it with the iron real quick. Let me step over my cables. That looks beautiful. That looks really, really good. Okay. Ta-da, Vicky says. Ta-da, yay, ta-da. Now, since I had my zipper open, you got to open it the 3/4 way. Now my lining is going to fit right in here. Let me push this inside, and they want you to press it and all that. Look. Oh, I got to, whoop, whoop. Ah. Okay. That turned out beautiful. Look at that. I will press it. And the idea is that you can get, I don't know if these will fit. Will they? These are not going to fit. These will fit for travel. Cute. Look at that. How cute. That's a good one, Kimberbell. Nicely done. I love it. I love it. Hey, I got those holiday rope bowls, so we're going to start doing those too. I had so much fun making that last one. If you guys didn't see, I did finish the holiday rope bowl that came from the Hoop Studio last month. And my finishing method is different than theirs. So I'm kind of getting the hang of that to realize, because I'm got experience doing some sewing, maybe a little bit easier, different method than what they did. So the method I ended up doing to fix this is I did remove this from the machine. They tell you not to. They tell you to stop right up here and then wrap your rope. I went ahead and just knotted off and then dropped it, made a mark on, wrapped the rope around it to figure out how much I was going to need, and then made a clip at that point. And then I wrapped the fabric all the way around it to make sure that it worked fine and got it done. And it turned out just beautiful too. So lots of little things that go through my head, and I'm going to finish stuff my way. I'll do their embroidery, but I will finish my way. So anyway, yeah, this turned out just adorable. Thank you, Kimberbell, for another successful, wonderful project. Love this. So adorbs. All right, you guys, this has been a lot of fun. I will see you tomorrow morning. Giveaway Friday. I got something cool for y'all. All right. And do I have a video for the bowls? I did do a video for the bowls. I know Vicki says, oh, I'm exhausted. And I will be doing videos, making bowls with you guys. Okay. So, all right, y'all have a wonderful day. I love you guys. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow morning on Giveaway Friday. Go sew something. Bye.